have a timer. So can someone time it?
Yeah, or just short,
can just
sweet,
keep-
to the point. I think we'll
Yeah.
be. Doesn't have to be exactly 2 minutes, but yeah.
If it's too
Okay.
much over, I'll do a little.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to say thank you spontaneously. We're going to have a 2-minute period where we just say thank you spontaneously. You can say it to either set the intention for gratitude, or you can say it as a reaction to feeling gratitude. And that's it. Just popcorn style thank yous.
Cool.
Love it.
So, bong, we begin. Thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Doodle-doo, doodle-doo.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Super cool. All right. So we have a little list of things today. How do I transfer this? I'll open a Google Doc here really quick.
You want me to start
Um,
showing? You want me to start showing the examples while you transfer it?
Well, let's get a list to look at what we want to get done today, and then I think that will be the first thing that we'll address.
Right.
But I want to open this space if there's anything in anyone's field beyond this list that's already started. So I'll show hopefully what I've got here. So Josh, I have that you will show us a call structure that we use in another platform that me and Josh have calls on frequently. I think Josh, that'll take 5 minutes or something. Alex put moving forward plan. Do you want to elaborate a little bit there, Alex? Do you want us to
Well, no, because I put it for you. I thought maybe there were things on the master plan following up last week that you wanted to add.
There's a couple spots that are still not fully finalized that we could address, for sure. And we want to review the video that Jorge sent and the demo, for lack of better terminology, that Peter has sent us, and talk more about getting a website into a development stage. So that's probably 5 to 10 minutes as well. Josh, how do you feel about high-low? Are we ready for that?
Yeah. Let me present on it. That sounds great.
5 minutes?
Sure. 10 for that.
Jen? Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you some of the other stuff and yeah.
Okay, cool. And then this last one is quick update on Haifa. Okay, is there anything else that is in anyone's field that they'd like to add to this list for today?
Potentially using David as assistant for a couple of points. I can share more on that.
Okay.
Just a thought on that master plan. Would it be good, kind of like you know, they do the real estate contract or the bank contracts, and they kind of tell you what they say in the areas. Would it be good to have a video that goes through and says, okay, this area is about this, this is how we're doing it, da 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 da, and sort of get a good, you know, 1 minute section on each one, like a boom boom 1 minute, what this is about, so people get an
Yeah,
idea before they
Sounds
read
great.
Short videos for Gen Plan. They're called Gen
it.
Plan.
Gen plan.
Would that be highly beneficial to like the people who are here? Instead of reading the whole thing, you could just watch a little 1 minute video in each section. You guys,
You can still read it. You can still read it. It's like a real estate contract. A lot of people will read it, and a lot of people will just listen
Yeah,
to what
yeah.
the person says and sign. But actually, most people read.
Having both available. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it
Okay.
feels like quite a big document. So having like a kind of a thin end of the wedge into it would be valuable, I think, for me.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Anything else?
No,
Going once, going twice?
Any
Alright.
we could review roles, general direction, or if we have time.
Also,
we
just
get-
I'll make a quick update on IFA's decentralized governance. It's more 5 minutes than 10, 15 minutes, to be honest.
Okay, beautiful.
And
Okay, cool. So
we could also go over the event if we really wanted, or we can cut early. I mean, just see if there's anything we can do. If there's
event
nothing we can
update.
do.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to give, we can do that here super quick, Alex.
Yeah.
Cool.
5 minutes, max.
5 minutes. There you go.
Okay, cool. Then, Josh, I would love to hand you the shared screen to show us kind of how the Notion is set up in Helix,
All right.
because I feel like it's really productive the way that the calls are going with us over there, and I'd love to see that implemented here. Just for a brief overview, guys, there's like a Notion call itinerary, and then everyone has a chance to review and add to it prior to the call, and then like it's very similar to what I just did when we start each call. We just kind of go through that list and figure out what's priority, how long each piece is going to take. And then that leaves each person the week leading up to it the opportunity to like add anything that's on their mind for the next call. But Josh, I'll let you show a little more.
Yeah. So as you can see, I came to the calendar this morning just out of habit, thinking, okay, well, what's happening today? But I didn't see anything. So just to let you know, that's what happened with me this morning. Now I have the favorites. You can always favorite something. Just for those of you that maybe don't know, you just push the star and it shows up here on a little favorite button instead of the main one when it gets more complex. So how we do our meetings, right there's the Zoom link, same Zoom link every time. If that changes, it could be in the meeting itself, I guess you could say, but in this case, it's the same Zoom link. So it's set up to be open. So basically anyone could take over host if Oliver wasn't there in this case. So we have a call out. There should be a culture code here. I need to add it there. And then we have our meetings. Okay, so in the meeting, actually, let's go to a past, maybe the past meeting. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so it says we would say who's the one running it, who's the one keeping notes, stuff like that. This is a template. So we have a template. So we have a call agenda, check them off. You can make a checkbox really easy. You can add to the call agenda. So we could have probably done that off call. You can here at it, you push a plus button and then you go to a Wait, let's see, it's a to-do list. So you'll get that to-do list. So we can do that on ours. We can just create a to-do list, meeting purpose. I think we can even create a template somewhere and somehow make this a template.
And Josh, can I pause a second? And I wanted to ask, and that's totally okay. We jump straight into topics. We don't do a little check-in with, where people are at, or if, we did a bit for the agenda, and we're cool with that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I skipped that, but
All right, maybe after this, if you guys want to do that. So then we have notes. And then we have our tasks that go through all the tables. So what they are is they're posted. Yeah, they somehow go through all the tables. Our next step. So we add them as we're on a call. These are recurring, so these can pop back up to the table as a to-do. And then these, I think it says monthly or not. Yeah, every 30 days, And some of them are every week. Okay, that's it. What we want to add to it though is in this area, what at least I want to add to it is the culture code. And that would be like, this is a facilitation, part 1 is a facilitation. Then we're going to go into a mastermind. And then you'll have little understandings of what that looks for each person, what that looks like. And yeah.
So then I would propose that we establish a similar setup within the Light Leaders Mastermind Notion space. And we have a calendar where we can put those weekly calls. Each one will have a card attached. If leading up to the call, you feel like there's something that you want the group to address or be aware of, you can just add it to that to-do list. And then hopping on the call, we all have a very clear prioritization list that we can review together to start the call. And then anything that doesn't get addressed in the time slot we have will just become part of the next call. Is everyone in alignment with implementing that? Yeah, Jorge?
I'm good with that.
Get some noise, probably a blender. Shall we do our check-ins real quick?
Well, just so we implement it, but who's implementing it? Like who's taking on a leadership
Yeah.
on a team? Okay.
I can do that, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, there's someone making a smoothie. Okay, but looks like he's done now. Yeah, I can take ownership of that.
Do you want to
So,
write that in the roles then?
Yeah, I think I'm already, my role is already a Notion Space manager, or I forget how we worded it, but I'll add that here in the notes. Do you want to implement this into LL?
Is it LLM or LLMM?
Light Leaders Mastermind.
One M?
Mastermind's one word. So is
Okay.
Light Leaders, I guess. So LM, but I don't know. That's just how I've been writing it all the time. So
I think light leader, yeah, mastermind.
I don't
can
know. Do we want to have a brief conversation about how we want to pose this to the world? Do we want LLM or LLM or LM, or does anyone care?
It's
Well,
important.
seeing
to
as
get-
we're there, isn't light leaders one word?
Yeah, so
I-
technically Light Leaders is one word and Mastermind is one word, so it would be LM.
L-M, maybe L-M versus LM. Kind of confused.
Bobby, you have a branding background. I remember you helped me on that.
Yeah. I guess
What do
like
you
LM
think?
would be more truthful, but LL actually does give it more impact, doesn't it? It kind of feels
think-
more powerful.
LM's like, yeah, LLM's better, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, LLM it is. Then yeah, let's do a quick check-in. Sorry, I skipped that, Alex. You want to go first? Take a minute.
Yeah, actually, I'm super happy with the developments. And at the same time, I find myself personally, I've been, maybe because I've been a bit sick in the past week, and I'm going to do yoga teacher training starting Friday. So for most projects, I feel myself a little bit, yeah, so I love the project, but I don't feel as motivated right now. And that's just something I wanted to share. So I take a bit less responsibilities, not because I don't like the project. I think everything we do is awesome. But I don't know, sometimes I'm in these phases where I'm more like a little bit more from the back and see where I want to put more energy on later on. But yeah, with being a bit sick, yoga teacher training coming, and then maybe we go on a bit on holiday. With Christmas, I'm a little bit less taking on less roles, I'd say. I can feel. I wanted to share that.
Yeah, awesome. I'll go next then and piggyback off that, and just highlight that it's December, end of Q4, and every platform or company I've ever worked with, December is typically like the kind of most scattered, what we might call unproductive month. And I think that that's beautiful and awesome, and that we should all embrace the holidays. You know, and if you have friends and family to be with, like, I think end of December is the like prime time every year to just kind of like allow that decompressing holiday kind of vibe to enter our lives. So I think all in all, like, no stress or pressure or anything like that, especially in these times. And then me personally, yeah, I'm feeling actually a little bit opposite, but also embracing like the flow. My life has changed quite a bit, so I have lots of like brand new energy to give to like a lot of new projects. But yeah, I'm good and happy that you're getting better, Alex.
It's a great segue. Yeah, I was talking with Bobby yesterday. He came over and I was saying, yeah, I feel really good in my work. I feel, you know, probably higher than I've ever been, probably 9.5 out of 10. And however, I think it was the physical and social that were a little lower. And so that's where I'm at. Everything else is pretty good.
Guess I'll go next. So for me, I guess you know, been pretty busy. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, like I do work full time, and then my, you know, after my 9 to 5, my 5 to 9 is basically I'm building you know, my website on Beer Diet Project, and whatever other time I have, I've been spending just researching you know, blockchain, and you know, leaves me very little time for like just about anything else. So you know, one thing that I do want to point out, like, you know, I overwhelm myself sometimes with all kinds of roles that I give myself. Like, I'm not exactly a web developer, I'm more of a marketer, but you know, I take on the role just because I know a little bit about it. But I do also take a lot of time for myself. So with that being said, like, even though I'm overwhelmed, like, I just feel like this is a season of my life that I have to take to, you know, prepare for what's to come ahead. So I'm kind of a mix, you know, I'm excited, overwhelmed, but at the same time, just pushing forward.
Oh, thank you, Jorge. So for me personally, I've been doing a lot of like health and personal and spiritual development shadow work over the last 6 months. And even in the last few months, I've had a lot of like very deep processings, and I'm kind of really feeling very inward to just sort of like consolidate and process and work through that stuff that's happening. I'm also launching my new podcast this weekend, so I'm really excited about that. So like that's kind of sort of a little bit of an energetic counterpoint to my inward energy. And in fact, I just watched for the first time the full video of us creating the poem, and I'm just buzzing. I'm just blown away. I can't wait to share it, but more of that will come. And then so yeah, like I'm very focused on that, and I'm quite aware that I'm not really holding any roles within this light leaders at the moment. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I guess, just really happy to be here and engaging with what's going on. And I'm sure as more clear roles come to the fore now that the master plan's in place, then something will pop up that will be a really good fit for me. But I'm quite hesitant to take on anything too strongly unless it's really, really resonating for me. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And let us know if we can help with the sharing your podcast. Or
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I really would love that. Yeah. So maybe I'll message you to find out what would be the best way. I'll message you about that.
Yeah.
And if we integrate culture code into the calls, that gives, Bobby showed me a great site that is basically culture code already built. Basically the site that he does, the social meditation site, is like perfect.
The guys that I learned from, Buddhist Geeks. Yeah.
It's a start of it. It's like, it's got a little piece of it, but it's good.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you, everybody. That's really good. Love that connection that we just established there. So thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that segment.
Yeah, I think it's important for the weekly calls to at the start. I mean, for me, I feel way more than included and then get more attention and also that collective, like, I don't know, support. I find it's good.
Yeah.
Not too long, it's not a circle, but a little check-in like this.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. And I need healthy reminders of this. I tend to be very masculine, charge, go person. So thank you for, yeah. I love it.
I guess practically speaking, in terms of the conversations we've had, that's actually part of the culture code segment that will go in the meeting plan that Josh described, isn't it? So it will be more prominently reminded next time.
Especially as we implement the Notion page setup and the culture code is there on the meeting page. Beautiful. Okay, so let's breathe that all in. All right. Down the list then. Event updates. No, Alex, maybe if you want to give a brief here. I can also just say that from my perspective, everything's moving forward. We're in promotion phase, so it'd be highly beneficial for everyone here to help promote it for in Bali or know anyone in Bali. Bobby and Josh have a couple.
Okay, well, maybe I'll share a bit.
I didn't catch what you said after my name, then it just cut out. Was there anything? Was there a question or anything?
I think you're not cut, but I'll give a little update. We have about 25 people at the moment, and we can have up to 50. And that's great because then we'll get more momentum, have video recordings from the event for everyone, even the people who don't join the event. And also some people will buy the NFT, so the excess from that goes to the fund of the online ongoing mastermind. And also during the event, some of the workshops, especially with the people who are already more building and part of it, is going to be really interesting to refine. So for example, when we have a Nick Hager who will present the HIFA tool more in details, then we can see how it works more concretely for light leaders. Oh, we don't want to vote to make decision. We just want to vote to sign what we already decided in councils, for example, or this wouldn't work for us because of that, and go a bit more granular. So we can use it also as a little brainstorming / mastermind. So it's looking good, and it's going to be good for everything, I think. And if you can help us promote, for sure, that's what we need.
What's the best thing to share?
I would say either if you go through the Telegram group, Light Leaders Portal, there's a few pinned posts so you can see there, but I'd say one that works pretty well is the text with the video of the past event, like these people can see how it looks like, or the one with the flyer. If you go on a WhatsApp channel, for example, maybe I'll post again the flyer actually. And yeah, so just the white flyer with the date and a bit of text below. Maybe I'll repost an intro to it that's easy to share.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You said I'm in Light Leaders portal. I only see a few. Do you mean, which video do you mean? Do you mean?
From the past event.
Okay, I see it. Never mind. Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah, I'll share that with a few groups that you may not have shared with local.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's all.
Even
Even if I have, it can be nice to have, because you have different, at the moment, it's like, oh, Alex is sending his event to the channel. And then when someone else, because that sends also to the same channel, it can be quite a different perception for, that's how marketing works. If you have different touch points and reminder, it works well. And if it's not just the same dude that keeps bombarding you with his events, often it has better, it feels like it's more collective and looks better. So it's okay if I've also promoted already. Cool. Thank you.
Do you think in that context it's worth sharing a different link or just a slightly different piece of media if you've already shared a certain one to the same group?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of variety.
Especially if pictures are good.
Mm.
Yeah. And if we see for me, if I see you Josh post, then I'll comment on it. Or if you see one of my posts in a group, you could be like, yeah, looking forward to it or something like this.
Sounds good. We'll do it.
Thanks. Welcome back. You don't really need the update on the event, so I took care of that. Don't know if you have anything to add, but we're gonna promote.
Nope. I'm pretty confident that you did a great job. I had to switch to my hotspot, so sorry. Cool. Then you guys are all feeling squared away on event update.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what was next? Moving forward on Gen Plan. Okay. So have Jorge or Bobby had the chance to review the Gen Plan?
No.
No.
Looks like my connection still isn't very good.
It's okay, but not amazing.
Josh, do you want to just give an overview of where we're at with this?
Sure. I'll give a
I'm
quick
gonna
one. If
switch
I,
back to the Wi-Fi.
yeah, let me share screen then. Because yeah, you're cutting out. All right, so here we go. We renamed it Gen Plan. And I think we
Oh,
went through
this is the master plan.
Yeah, we
Okay.
renamed it. So look for Gen Plan. It's been renamed. Like I said, I think we should just make a video for each piece and put it somewhere. Could be at the top, this title section, like an outline, boom, 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 outline, and have a video. Or it could be some other way. I don't know. But I think that'd work. And then they could watch the video click a link to, and it drags you down to the section, so they don't have to scroll for the section. And see what we can do here. Nothing's changed. I don't know if there's anything to go over. I mean, I think by the time we do the videos, it'll be final. It'll be a final proposal. But yeah, feel free to look through it and see. I think everything's going to make a whole lot of sense, but there's really stuff like all this stuff's pretty standard, to be honest with you. Where I think you're cutting down the agreement fields, right, Yano? Yano's cutting down the agreement fields. Yeah, he's a little choppy, but he's going to cut them down, make them simpler, just slice them down for now. There will be more coming up later, though. So just to know that there's a standard set of agreements these are going by if we want to be in the ASPO field, which is what we're aiming for. So we can cut them down now and then just have a phase 2 of them, and just know that whatever we're aligning to, it'll be going along right with that. If you want to have the full list available for people, you could do it that way. You just have to decide. Roles and teams is really interesting. I suggest everyone reads this, if nothing else, and understands it and sees how that works. That's very important. And this is all about roles and teams, is very important. And then funds and fund distribution is pretty important. This part here, the distribution, the strategies, whatever. But how is it distributed? Take a look, give your input. Stage 2, stage 1, and stage 2. So stage 1, additionally stage 1, that's all stage 1. And then what it says is if we have $50,000, you'll go to stage 2. Okay. It says it in there somewhere. So if there's 50,000 in the pool, we just go to stage 2, which is a different setup. Okay. So stage 1 is designed sort of like seeds to get us ramped up and going. And then stage 2 is like, okay, we're going, let's structure this how we were supposed to. And assuming that there's, income and roles. That's it. Next steps. That's another thing to look at. Really, all these stuff is pretty damn important to know how we're funding, how we're doing roles, and what our next steps are. Those are all, that's it, man. I mean, the other one's about avatars and our vision and intention, which, is important also, but very important. So there's nothing in here that's a waste of time. That's pretty much it. Mission, vision, and then it goes right into, you can, that's it. Roles. So is that good? Yano?
Yeah, I think the whole thing is worth a read through. As Josh said, just like establishing as much coherence around the funding outlook as is possible. It's rough, and just kind of like an outlook on what we think will be most conducive to growth. If you have input, provide it, please. And then with the intention, mission, vision, it is a bit important in specific regard to the website that we're going to build. So as we get into like how we're going to structure and design and brand Light Leaders Mastermind, the clarity and alignment around our intention, mission, vision is quite crucial to that regard. So what is the purpose of Light Leaders Mastermind? What role are we serving? So
yeah, good point. Very good point. Yeah, the general direction is super important.
Right now,
General direction is super important.
And right now, the whole thing is in the advice process. So nothing is like officially finalized. It's just more rough draft posed to the group. Anyone who has something they want to add to it, please, now is the time to do so.
And I think you add to it just in your own color. You can do a comment, or you can add in your own color. I think you add to it just in your own color. You can do a comment, or you can add in your own color.
Comments, I think comments are best because then we all get updates.
They're weird. I have a major delay over here. All right, cool. Let's move on.
I think Yano's lagging a bit, so
Oh,
There's
why
a topic I wanted to talk about is potentially having David a few hours a week. And this is to cover a few spots that I feel aren't like, working so well around a few things that where like kind of do it a little bit as a kind of, founder's role, duct taping a couple of things, but where I'd like things to be a little bit more. I think there's an opportunity to do things in a more clear way. One of it is through the sales process. So I have people that want to buy the NFT, but it's not so easy to buy the NFT if you haven't done it before or aren't trained. It's not super hard, but people usually need to be a bit held by the hand. And so I've had people that want to buy the NFT, and if I'm not so available, I'm usually the only contact people go to for it. And yeah, some people, it's been weeks, they want to join, but we couldn't line up a call and they get a bit confused. And so I thought if I could send them to someone, and all these roles, by the way, I thought of filling is because they're not filled, but if some of you want to fill them too, that's even better. But the idea of having someone we pay, he's in the Philippines, he's doing a good job, is that sometimes it's just easier to be like, okay, that role needs to be done well, and we can pay you to do it. So I can go through the list basically. But yeah, when people want to buy the NFT, I'd like to be, okay, speak to X, and that person is available, doesn't go as much on like retreats or is away, and it's 2 people, there's someone, but I know with David, he's available like kind of almost every day. So that's one where I think then actually we would like just one person buying the NFT bring $300. So that would be more than what we'd pay him for the whole month. Onboard new members to the mastermind. So same. So here, if people want to buy the NFT, usually they contact me, and if we find the time together, sometimes I do a shared screen with them, like I've done with some of you. And then when they join, it's like, yeah, welcome. Sometimes they don't really know what to do. So I'd like also to, probably he wouldn't do the onboarding. We need someone who's more knowledgeable on it to create the onboarding. Like I could, all of these things I could train him, for example. But then when someone joins that, he's like, hey, that's how we do, sends the PDF. And if something changes, he can update it. Another task I saw was to monitor the Light Leaders Telegram group, the Light Leaders tribe. We have 400 people there, but it's a lot of people forwarding conspiracies, or I don't know, it's not super curated. We don't have to, but it could be nice to have a little bit more moderation there. Again, that could be one of us too. Weekly call reminders. So it could be nice to have something, it could be automated. Maybe I haven't looked into that, but with automation, it lacks flexibility also. So maybe having someone every Monday morning goes, hey, what are the topics for Wednesday? And people answer, and on Tuesday also post a reminder or two. And it's like this every week. Well, at the moment, again, it's like if I'm not here or if I'm away, I feel, and even when I'm here, I forget because there's all the things. And then even those weekly calls, who at the moment, I'm usually doing it, but so I download it from Zoom and publish the replay, I add the description, I add it to Notion, and I publish them in Telegram. And these again are like pretty simple tasks, but that I would like to remove from what I'm doing. And I would like also to make them very streamlined, because when I do it, I know sometimes it's a day or two later. And sometimes there's better description, sometimes not as well. Then keep Notion organized. Maybe that's a big role for him. So maybe that's but if you have a few things that you could outsource to him through that, he wouldn't create the structure, but that could help. And then extra marketing. He's actually he does video editing. He does all my podcast editing, all the little clips. If you look at Light Leaders podcast, he does it at the labels. So we could be like, hey, it'd be amazing to have this done for promotion, graphic designs. And remind, like for example, I just asked him to do a few testimonials from our first event that will add to the landing page and video. Remind people about proposals to review. That could be something also. That's I think you suggested it. Yeah, Bobby. So that's the idea. For me, it would feel pretty good to have that role, and we'd prioritize us taking roles when we are motivated. But when there's a role that we feel would help, he'd be there.
I'd say the only thing that's not needed in there, once he does the calendar, was maintaining the calendar next meeting. I mean, like transferring it to Telegram and all that, yes. But I think there was add description to Notion, which that'll be done by all of us.
Sorry, that was on YouTube. So publish on YouTube, add the description on YouTube, and then add the link of the YouTube video to Notion.
Oh, okay, cool. I saw that wrong. So the how much is he asking?
$10 an hour.
10 an hour. Yeah, I'm a yes to it. I can go say yes. However, just make sure you look at the how funds are distributed in phase one. I think as long as there's money, he gets paid. Then if he understands that there's no money and he wants to keep doing it, then he understands how that looks.
Yeah, and what I want, I mean, he's a great guy too. And for example, with my podcast, he creates the short videos like he understands, and he forbid his mom to get vaccinated and wants to get paid in crypto. So he's also like a young entrepreneur where that's also a test to see maybe if he can take a little bit more leadership through that, but he's flexible.
Cool. Do you want us to go in there and say yes or no or concerns?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of have already.
Oh, cool. You got more than we did on the master plan.
Well, did you do one for the master plan?
Oh, we didn't propose it. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, okay. Well, does anyone feel good about that or have objections? I mean, there's obviously, like, we see how we go. That's why also I said for 3 months. And again, if there's really no money, he'll understand we don't pay him. But the idea is to do a 3 months test like this. He also knows it's for 3 months. So 50 a week, that'd be like 200 a month for 3 months. About 600-700, let's say, max budget. And yeah, that's how we test it.
Jorge and Bobby, can you guys go into the proposal table and take a look at the sense making or the decision making and sometime?
Yes, certainly. I did actually already agree to the proposal. I come up as Autotelic Arts in there.
Yeah, so I think, so Josh, maybe we finish on that. So you commented and Josh was actually raising a new topic, which is,
okay.
Yeah.
So here both agreed. So actually, Josh, if you want, it'd be nice if you step there.
I can agree there.
And then that's, so if we're done on this point, we can go to the next one. Are we done?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that one's considered passed.
Okay, I'll speak to him this afternoon.
Decision-making proposals right there. If Jorge, you and Bobby could say agree, I think we would have enough to pass that.
Okay. I can take a look at that.
Yeah, look
Thank
at
you.
it. Of course. Thank you.
Can you send me the link to that? Because I still don't have, I'm not working very well with the Notion setup, so the direct link would be easier.
I'll get it in the chat.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, but Bobby, I need send me your email and I'll invite you to Notion.
Sure.
In the chat, yeah.
Oh, in the Zoom chat?
It is, but you will still invite him.
Okay.
So what you're gonna send him your email and then he can put you on there. All right, next point, Yano. There's the email in the chat.
Yeah, I invited.
I think my cat's got something to say.
You should be able to click that link now and have it work, Bobby.
Okay, I can do also the quick update on HiFi's decentralized tool. I spoke with Nick. So HiFi is a decentralized governance organization that's been birthing the Seeds cryptocurrency, but they're two separate things. And with HiFi, they built a really cool tool, which is like I'll send a video if people, I think I've sent it already if people want to dive, but basically it just makes everything we already do on chain and very clear. So one thing they don't do so well is at the moment they vote on proposals and it doesn't work well because for many things, but we can go into why voting isn't ideal and why we go more towards distributed council-like decision makings where we actually make the decisions. But what's really cool is that blockchain technology and interface is what I see, but the tool is going to be ready in January. So I'll do a more proper presentation in January, but maybe if some people feel already cold, they can watch a 1-hour video that explains well the tool and then start discussing. But in my head, what would be ideal is we use the tool for proposals, for roles. And so everything's clear with, hey, there's a role there and I want to take that role and that's how long it's going to be. And that's how much I'm going to be paid. And that's on chain. That's can be changed because now in Notion, people could like change things later, or if they don't understand how it works, they can still do proposals, forgetting to put some of the details. Well, here it's like, that's how you do. So if you don't do it by the rules, you can't do it, you're blocked. So you have to learn in a way, which is really good for proposals. Then the way they do it with the voting to pass things is not really good because of the voting thing, but we can go around it with, they have a system of badges. So we could say, okay, a vote is just for that team, but in the end, the vote, and we can put, it's not 51%, we can say it's consensus, for example, to pass things on chain. So then the vote becomes just a signature of what's been agreed. So at the moment we say, I agree in Notion, but it's not, there's still some clarity. People could come back and say, oh, maybe someone in the mastermind now could say, oh, I didn't agree, which is true if they didn't say I agree, and the way we pass things is not immutable. Maybe someone can go in Notion and delete someone's comment, these kind of things. So it would put the signature of people voting on chain immutable and very clear. Also, you could click on someone and see their role, see their badges. So I'm quite excited about it. And it looks like we can adapt it to the decision-making process we already want to do, which is act and not voting on things, but having more that distribution. I think Josh, at some point, it's probably in January, there's no rush, but that's something and with everyone or anyone also who's interested, but look at making sure we can implement the tool to make it scalable, to make it transparent, to make it immutable and clear, while making sure it's adapted to how we want to function, not the other way around.
When can we test the tool? Like test it on our own? Because the guy was going to give us access.
Nick told me January.
Okay. So when we get access, we'll look at it and set it up and start to mess
You can
with it.
see how it looks on HiFi. I just haven't been approved personally on being part of the HiFi do.
I've looked at it enough to now. We just need access to set it up.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I know that we're all in general alignment that everything we're doing here is kind of like a test lab. But I'm curious if we can brainstorm a way that we could use the HiFi tool in like a 2-week test, like with proposals that don't actually mean anything, and like something separate from like the actual infrastructure of how we're operating, like similar to how you might day trade with imaginary money on a platform before you actually started day trading with real money. And I'm just posing that as a possibility. I don't know what that
Let's do
looks
that.
like,
Yeah.
but maybe we can come up with like a way that 10 of us could test it, pass proposals, make sure everything works, and then after a 2 or 3 week test period, implement it.
Good idea.
So just putting that out there in the field so we could theorize what that looks like in the coming weeks.
Great.
I like it.
All right, 9:30, let's move on. We got a couple more things. You guys okay with staying a little later? Or do you want to?
I got like
Thank
10 more minutes. I could go.
Oh, thank you.
Looks like all of a sudden my internet's working again. So what's up, guys? The other two things that are big on the list I have were, Josh, you were going to briefly talk to us about Hilo, and then the website. But I think the website's more important.
Yep, do the website first. Maybe we put Hilo off till next time.
Cool. So Jorge, I did not have a chance to watch your video yet, but I have seen what you built. I also did have a chance quickly before this call to review the platform that Peter is working with. And first I want to provide you the space, because I know you said like you can do website stuff because you know how, but that you're also quite busy with other things. So I would love for you to be transparent and honest about like the type of time and energetic capacity that you have to build a website. And if we wanted to like keep it as a top priority, do you have the ability to give it larger level focus, or how do you feel about the whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it depends on like what is that we're looking to do with the website. Like basically like what I put together is just the same framework that I use for my website, which is the only reason why I was able to put it together fast and know how to use it. But like my actual focus, like I said, it's really on marketing. And that's kind of like what I'm spending most of my time with. It's just like researching and, creating content. Well, that's kind of like what my, DMO is. And I'm kind of trying to do the same thing with this. And I'm just, I'm open to contributing and doing, website work. But ultimately, like, I feel like the best use of my time is going to come to like marketing, like doing copywriting and anything that's more like conversion related. That's really where my expertise in marketing is at. So, as of right now, like we're kind of like at a standstill with the website until we get, the gen plan, fully, fully dialed in, and we start to get a little bit more clarity on what is it that we're marketing, promoting, and get into kind of like a little bit of a better routine with that. As far as like time commitment, I don't really have like a whole lot of time, to be honest. But I'm making as much time as I can to be part of the mastermind.
Okay, beautiful. So what I'm taking away from this, based on the premise of wanting everyone to give their energy to where their zone of expertise is most flourishing, and that Peter has entered our field and has offered to create a website for us as just part of collaboration. And
can I jump in just on one thing? I think it'd be cool that you watch the video that Jorge did, because one aspect that I find really cool is what you present, Jorge, as a gamification a bit, and the inside membership, which I feel Peter does great presentation websites, but it's more like a window in a way. And I think that's quite important too.
Okay, so I haven't watched the video.
But I watched the video. Can I say, I just want to say, yeah, it looked great. Good job. And I put a question on there about putting the education on the website or offsite, because the way the education looked, it could be done a lot better with badges and entry points versus a comment.
So there's two different pinpoints of education, Josh. There's the attracting learners education, which we wanted to offer as free, so that people could come to our website and begin engaging and learning in a way that would incentivize them to attend an event and to buy an NFT. So that would be like kind of like level 1 education that would be free. But then once someone wanted more, for example, then they would attend an event, they would buy an NFT, and once they were a member, once they had a membership badge, then there would be larger level education that we could offer to members of the mastermind.
Right. Just deciding if you want to do it on-site or off-site. I have an off-site thing that my friend runs that we can jump on. It's part of a larger education structure that's designed for the new paradigm. So we can look at that as another option, or we can build something into the site, just putting it on the table that there's options.
What we could do, I mean, there's a good point to bring up. So what I'm feeling in that dynamic is that once someone enters the mastermind, we could have an offsite education platform for people who are vested in growing with us as a community. But that we could still utilize Light Leaders Mastermind website to begin that education process in a way that felt more attractive to the person who was coming into our space.
Yeah,
So-
I think that sounds good. The beginning, like they're getting there and they just do it right there. Then they get to a point where they're committed and involved, and they want to take this a specific series to get a specific badge. Then maybe you can run it offsite. And this offsite, the good thing is, if we get a good plan, it could literally like work with all the different groups, so we don't have different educations on different sites.
And within the site, it's also easy to tag someone to where they will be the only ones to be able to access specific content, whereas other people won't be able to see it. So that's a simple thing to do within the site, just in case we want to keep everything in one place. So, but either way,
I would say for now, the primary focus would be getting a site up and running that had that like level 1 education, so that we have like a bigger online presence in terms of attracting light leaders. And then once that's established, we could redirect a bit of our focus towards how we're further educating and empowering people that have joined and entered the mastermind. So I see that as like a two-stage approach. But again, I haven't watched your video, Jorge, but the energetic field that I'm resonating with right now is that there's a lot of value in the way that you've structured it, and perhaps your time would be better allocated towards marketing a website that existed than helping create one. So if there's a possibility of implementing that gamification strategy with Peter doing the actual like dirty work of building it, would you be in alignment with that? You could still be like part of the team and still bring Peter up to speed with that knowledge, and then let someone else.
There's also technical things to look at. So Peter's gonna build on Wix, and there might be limitations also there.
yeah, I mean, either way, I'm good. And like the site itself, it's pretty much built real like what the website is waiting on right now. It's a content structure, like what is it that we're going to put on the website, and maybe like taking time to mastermind on what is it exactly that we want to deliver with it, because that's kind of like what I'm waiting on. It's the content creation part, like what are all the things that we're going to be putting on the website. So
What platform was it built on, Jorge? Can I ask?
yeah, so that's using WordPress, and then I have a couple of plugins. I'm using the same membership plugin that I use for my programs that I use, and then there's a GamiPress for the gamification process side of it, and then I just integrate it all basically. But it's already done. It's all complete. It's just waiting on the content, really.
Okay.
Okay, so I feel like we're not going to come to a specific conclusion right now, but that this is something. I don't know if we want to schedule another call.
Is your fear so basically, Jorge, you're like pretty ready to go, but you need people to help you with the content. But I feel we have the content, the master plan is kind of ready now. So I feel there's one fear, which is maybe your time, and because we don't want to, if you're the only one who knows how to update the website, We don't want to feel stuck or something if you don't have time. But then there was already a team recreated. If you look in Notion, it's called website creator and manager, and there's Jorge and Yono. And my understanding was that you'd have Jorge with the content, and now Jorge says he needs content, and you kind of, it's kind of, oh, okay, we can't move on, but we can. Basically, we need someone to help you with the content, and then we could have the website ready. And you kind of said you would do that role earlier, but it feels like maybe not. But that's what we need. Am I correct?
So if that's the case, then it sounds like maybe Jonah and I need to potentially get together, and I can show Jonah around the website. And because like as far as like my time commitment, like I'll do as much as I can on the time. But yeah, I think maybe that may be it. It's just we're not fully communicating, I guess, on it. But I don't know, how does that sound, Jonah? Do you think maybe you and I can need to like do a call, and I can show you around the website how to use it, and then once we get going, I'll get a little bit I'll get into a better rhythm, I guess, into updating the site.
Let you guys finish.
Of course. So I started not having great service there again, so I didn't fully get either of what Alex or Jorge said, but the gist that I'm getting is that the structure of the website is ready, but that you don't feel like the content is there yet. And Alex, you were highlighting that both of us are on that team. The barrier of full entrance from my perspective is collectively getting clear around the intention, mission, and vision that have been posed in the Gen plan. And then upon full coherence and clarity there, figuring out what are the exact pinpoints of education we want to provide. And do we want to do that with written copy, or do we want to do that with recorded video? Does that recorded content already exist, Alex, as the result of your podcast, or do we need to create new content? If we do, yeah, I could record videos, but I don't necessarily want my face to be the only one on the website, for example. So I think prior to a full integration with the website is us as a team getting clear on what kind of education we want to provide. Do we want to provide that in written word or in video? And if it's written word, yes, me and Jorge can type it. If it's video, I think we should diversify the number of faces on the website as much as possible.
And so just to be clear, because that education piece doesn't have to be a bottleneck for website, because website would be more than this. So you prefer, as long that I feel the education piece, especially if we shoot videos, and the decision to make is, do we want to remain on the lightleaders.org until we figure this out, or do we want to transition to a website even though we don't have the education piece yet?
Yeah, for me, the current functional need of a website is to promote the event, and the way that we're doing it on your website is sufficient, and we don't have another event planned, and there probably won't be one until at least February. So I think we have time to get a website structured and then launch it in a more structured fashion. I don't feel a need to rush something just to have something.
Okay, because I have a different opinion on this. I think it could be cool to start having a website dedicated to it, with a simple one with a few headers, who's the team, who are the members, and 4 or 5 pages on it already, rather than my podcast website. But
I mean, we can do that, but then it's just like a billboard for what we're doing. It's not actually giving an offer, which is fine if we collectively decide we want to put that out there for people to view and see. But then there just won't be an offer on the website as they're engaging with it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be the same as on my website now. Yeah, it could be, if we want to make it simple to start with, like join, register now, like we have. But yeah, not like not like a course inside. Yeah.
Okay, Jorge, structurally, is that possible to launch like a website without the education stuff integrated?
I'd say it is. I think kind of going back to I feel like we're still kind of like in the same spot where maybe like I think our best course of action is for you to maybe watch the video that I put out and maybe take some time to come up with like an initial structure of the website, and if that's something we want to include, then we'll include that. But I think that's really like where we need to focus on, is deciding like, okay, what is it the first things that we want to have on the website, and even if it's just a couple of pages to begin with, as we build it out, at least we have some sense of direction versus not knowing exactly what all we want on the website. So, and for me, like I feel like I need to go through this gem plan to fully understand it, because I think that's kind of what's holding me back as far as like coming up with a structure and getting ideas down on paper.
Okay, cool. So Jorge, then take some time to do that. I'll watch your video, and before next week's call, I'll create a staged roadmap for website launch. So what does stage 1 look like? That's just a billboard, something that people can see and view and access. Stage 2 is implementing education. Maybe there's a stage 3, stage 4. So I'll come to next Wednesday's call with a website roadmap. Jorge, you and me can connect between now and then, and Alex, in terms of your vision for what that stage 1 might look like, can you just send me like a brief bit on what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And actually, I want to join the team for the website. I'm just conscious of the time I'll have, especially in the next like 2 weeks, and don't want to be a bottleneck, but I'll do what I can to help, and depending on how things evolve, I'm quite interested in helping you guys with that.
Cool.
And for full clarity, then Peter is not currently part of this conversation.
For now, I mean, I love Peter and it's great, but yeah, I feel.
Okay, yeah, I felt like he was part of it. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So that's all good. Cool.
Let's see at the event also, but for now, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. So next week I'll have a staged approach. I'll connect with you, Alex, about it. I'll connect with you, Jorge, about it. And Bobby, you look great. Okay, guys.
All right.
Guys.
All good?
Yeah, great.
Here, let's do this. 2 words, sign off. Lovely sunshine.
Thank you.
Energized progress.
Love you.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.